Hello, Perceptive Reader. This is James Lynch. Today is December 23rd. I'm actually, for the next couple of days, running the special ultimate pages, okay? And I have the Who's Ass Power presentation going on. If that conks out, then I will follow through with my other slider or preview or playlist of YouTube that I now embed into my website, where I would add the videos from there, you see? So either way, you'll get the presentations. The ones that won't fit in the Who's Ass, I'll just drop them right in the playlist that's under or on the different page of the ultimate, because I got two of them, okay? So I have that. Now, the subject that I want to talk with you about today, it actually combines two things, okay? It combines two things. And what are they? One, it deals with your fine culture and heritage. And then the other one happens to deal with famous, you see, notoriety. When you look at each and every culture around the world, from the Anglo-Saxon to the Nubian, to the Asian, and maybe some, that will really get specific. I say Anglo-Saxon, but then you can start into the Slovaks and the Vikings and stuff. And so those are different genetic pools that still branched off to such a different way and location that they still developed their own culture and heritage even from there. All the same, sometimes people become famous as individuals, not because they set out that way, but they were literally prodded and forced to do such a thing. If not, then they wouldn't be around. And that's the reality of it. And the second thing that I want to say is, when it comes to your culture and heritage that you're proud of, this is still what I'm going to say, and hopefully you'll hold it dear to your heart. You know, a person can actually dishonor their own culture and heritage still by the way that they treat other cultures and other heritage. You see, you have every background, and especially the ones of the African descent. Yes, especially of the African descent, that has been treated very poorly by other cultures and other heritage. And the thing about it is, when people actually elevate their culture and heritage to such a level that they still will actually put another one down, then they're actually dishonoring their own culture and heritage. And I would say, in certain ways, they don't even deserve the famous or fine standing that their culture and heritage has, because they have dishonored it so bad by the way that they treat others who have their own heritage. You see what I'm saying? So the thing about it is this as well. In some interviews that you can listen to, famous statesmen of other, lands, they will mention why they would never convince their mind to be this way and that way, in a way of thinking or what have you, because they feel that you got a lot of persons who are just dishonorable and they disrespect their heritage. I was listening to an interview today from decades ago, or some speeches that were made. And yes, that is the case. Yet, what I still want to remind you is this. even though there were some people, and maybe large groups of people who will disrespect others, uh, can we actually just still gather them all together, so to speak, put them all in one category as being, bigots or disrespectful bigots? Can we actually do that? If you're listening to me for over a while now, you already know the answer to that. No, we can't do that. What we hope, though, is that whatever community that different people belong to, that they will still not only continue to respect and honor the teachings that their parents gave them, but they will also be generous and just in the way they deal with others who also have different teachings and a culture from their own parents as well. You know, um, I know I'm getting ready to go into a Star Trek episode, but one of Picard's speeches happened to be, no person should think that they're so important, which will involve rich and famous and all that stuff like that, where their rights, it gives them the right to usurp the rights of another person. See, that was in one of the speeches the writers put in that Picard had given. And that really is the case. So we don't want to dishonor what has been given to us by our culture and heritage, by end up putting such a bad light on it because of our actions, of the way that we treat other people. And then, it takes away from the being elevated by it. You see, there's some good stuff in every single culture, some good stuff in every single culture and background, you see. And the point is, when people talk about other changes that come about from a certain environment or what have you, you know, I could go more into it, and it's getting more into capitalism and the way uh, that the United States runs. But I still say again, over the last 4 years, and I told you, I'm just talking about the environment. I'm not getting into how people may want to mention Capitol Hill and all that stuff like that. But no, I'm telling you for a fact, in my observation, I know where some of these ideologies came from. And I saw firsthand how some of these same people were treated very badly because still you had some group of people that still just thought their own way or community or background was just better than everybody else. And it didn't matter if even the innocent was being treated wrong. They wouldn't even allow the innocent who was being treated wrongly to get justice. See? But yet, I'm telling you, some of the persons who had that same type of mindset and treatment of individuals, see, in their mind, they're not able to make the connection that still something is very wrong with their thinking there. I mean, ethically and spiritually. But see, they couldn't even see it. They couldn't even see it. A lot of these persons. So that's what I'm going to tell you. You can look over, so sometimes you see persons say, oh, what about, what you mean all this change? All you talking about money, 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 money. Well, you know what? Would you rather still see people lose their homes and out on the streets? Because I told you, what cracks me up about people is this sometimes. You can talk about God all you want. You can talk about believing in God. You can talk about believing in process and stuff. But I told you, in this case, God gave me plenty of experience in this. If you're not willing to do and give the person the exact information that they need or gift or what have you. And yes, I'm adding in the generosity of a gift. Do you know what? Your words after a while is going to mean jack. And you can add the other word to it. Why? Because the way that God set up the human race and the way he has allowed it to go on today, he wants to actually see opportunities. A person sometimes just being generous, not having to prove themselves to these extraordinary lengths, even to get some type of wage that people know that the person deserves. See, nobody gonna change my mind on that. Hospitality at one time was so important that it was actually a dishonor not to give it as well. Now, with all that being said, once you see the way that the world really functions, and sometimes, if you happen to be around a group of people who can always talk about the right thing or generosity, but if you're just not part of their group they agree with, they're not going to give you a dime, then you know what? You're forced to go into maybe areas that you weren't planning on to. You're forced to become well known at times, even with your name. Why? Because if you didn't, these persons will have you lying out there on the street. And I'm sorry, an option just to come and bow the knee to persons who don't even deserve the bowing of the knee to, because we only worship God. You see, the true God, Jehovah in heaven, then it's like that is not an option, no matter how they make it sound. I want to emphasize, you are not being disobedient. They are being disobedient because they're going against Jesus' words in the Bible on how you're supposed to treat people and even his brothers, and not to be putting them through all sorts of hell, you see, even for a cup of water or a loaf of bread. So again, live up to the teachings that you have. And it's not justified treating somebody else bad just because they're not of your same type of ideology either. Take care of yourself and have a wonderful day. Enjoy December 24th and 25th. Take care.